It's all right. We're live. There's people lost on Gilligan's Island after this press conference. All right, check it out, guys. This is Craig's Corner. I am joined by two special guests. One is a semi-regular, almost a regular. Go ahead and give yourself a big shout out there, Kratos.
Hey everybody, it's your boy J Dub, aka Kratos, the god of PlayStation. I'm rocking out with my man Craig here on a lovely Sunday afternoon after the fiasco that was Microsoft's press conference for E3. I know we got I know we got a lot to talk about here, and I can't wait to get it all out.
All right. Yeah, we're gonna run it, and all right. We're also joined by Mr. Kyle Berg, who has invited me on his podcast earlier, and when the channel was fledgling, and we were just getting started, and Mr. Berg has come on to my channel. This is his second run on this channel, so Mr. Berg, go ahead and give yourself a shout out there, brother.
Yo, what's up, guys? You can just call me Kyle. Yeah, I used to be known as Gamers United here on YouTube. Ran a little channel, talked about Xbox a lot. Kind of fanboyed it a little bit, talked about Sony a little bit too, but I just got tired of doing the whole YouTube thing. Life gets busy, work, girls, all that sort of stuff. So I just decided to take a break on YouTube, but I'm back. E3 2017, we got a lot of interesting stuff to talk about, and I thought I'd come back, share my thoughts and opinions. I know you guys want to talk too, so let's just get right into it, man. Thanks for having me on.
Oh, man, no problem. It was short notice, so thanks for both of you guys for coming on. And shout out to the people that are watching. Shout out to the people that will listen later. And, yeah, big shout out to everybody. I'm 4 for 4 today, people. This is my 4th one. So, there's a lot going on, and I appreciate the invites people gave me and things like that. So let's get started. They walk out. They, being Microsoft, walks out here, arguably the most important, arguably the most anticipated press conference ever, and they hit you with the November 7th release date in the United States of America, full backwards compatibility, all the games being, whether they're on the Xbox One S or whatever, the backwards compat thing is still going to be there. They go into the super sampling with if you have a 1080p TV, this if you don't have a 4K TV, so that your games will look a little bit better on a 1080p TV. And then the optimized power management, which was blah, blah, blah. They spent 7 minutes. I knew they were in trouble. Let me get you all's opinion on this. I knew they were going to be having trouble when they were 7 minutes in and we had not seen not one damn game. But needless to say, they come out. They hit us. Of course, the price leaks early, so I'll start with you first, Kyle. Just go ahead from the price that leaked from Jeff Keighley, which stuck, $499. This is $500, and this is if you don't have a 4K TV. So, but go ahead with your opinion on this part of the press conference. They walk out on stage and show us what this thing looks like. Smaller than Xbox One S, by the way. But go ahead with your initial thoughts when this is happening right now.
Yeah, so my initial thoughts, I thought the first 7 minutes weren't that bad. I thought they could have been done better, but I thought overall it was okay. They didn't go too long with it. They weren't too short about it. They cut right to the chase pretty much, and they showed us what we wanted to see right at the beginning, except for that price tag, which we didn't get till the end, which is a little bit questionable in my opinion. But, a lot of people had heard about the $499 price leak. And it leaked out. That guy had tweeted it today, and I wasn't $499, my bad, but I wasn't surprised at this at all. I was going off of what Digital Foundry said. $499 seemed reasonable for what they were bringing with the console. It is smaller than the Xbox One S, barely smaller, in my opinion. Can't really even notice the difference, which is kind of like my problem with it. But I thought $499 was an okay price point. They got the vapor cooling chamber in there. They got the extra horsepower in there, obviously, and it looks pretty cool. But in my opinion, the Xbox One S kind of looks a little bit better. Kind of, in my opinion, Xbox One X is not the best name. It sounds so similar to the S. Overall, I just thought maybe that they could have done a little bit better job at the beginning. But overall, man, I don't know what to say. $499 was kind of expected. I don't know how all these people like Crap Gamer were hyping up $399 because there's no chance that a system like this would come out for cheaper than what the Xbox One OG launched back in 2013. So That's just my thoughts.
All right, Kratos, what do you think, brother?
Starting off, I'll tell you this, man. Looking at it, I was super excited. And I thought, you know, I'm trying to look at this subjectively. I know that there is no way that Microsoft can hold a candle to Sony and the exclusives and the studios they have and just the talent that they've put together over at the PlayStation division. I knew that going in here. So my expectations were that Microsoft needs to have a great E3 for Microsoft and not necessarily try to compete against Sony, because they really can't. They have both arms tied behind their back. You know, they gave up their exclusives. They gave up, you know, a lot of their games to the PC market. They gave up a lot of stuff. They didn't invest in their first party studios. You know, they winded down everything. So it was almost impossible for them to come out and just show you the caliber and the amount of games that Sony has shown you. It's just, it is what it is. But that was my expectations going in, was for them to come out and have a great show. They came out, they kept me entertained. Towards the end, it kind of got a little bit dull. I think they spent a lot of time on Sea of Thieves, which we've seen so much of that game, and it's not appealing to me, but a lot of my friends either. So you would think that they would kind of keep that, you know, on the sideline or spend a little time on that. The most hyped up game for the last 4 years was Crackdown 3, and they spent like 2 seconds on it. I don't get it. I don't understand, with all the talk of the cloud and this thing is just going to be doing this and that, and they didn't talk anything about it. They showed some trailer of it. I'm ready to see some gameplay. I mean, this game has been in development for so long. You know, it's time, you know, I hate to say it, Craig, but either shit or get off the pot. That's what I call it for Microsoft. But I will give the conference a solid C. It did keep me entertained. I enjoyed a lot of the games that they did show, and my expectations were not through the roof for Microsoft. So I kept my expectations in check. I knew the price is going to be somewhere in between the $400 and $500 range, so no surprises there. I think Microsoft did what they set out to do. I just think most of the people kind of, you know, they wrote a check that their butts couldn't cash. They overhyped it, like they do everything else. Any game that's about to come out. Yeah, any game that's about to come out from Microsoft, they overhype it, they don't support it, and then they're left with a bunch of, you know, people on the opposite side, on the PlayStation side, pointing and laughing. And this E3 came out, was supposed to be their big comeback, their big blowout. It had Sony shaking in their boots. And then it come out, and it turned out to be kind of underwhelming for a lot of people. So I give it a solid C, man. I give them a good effort. They kept the pace, they kept the tone, they showed some games that I'm looking forward to. Unfortunately, those games are multi-plat.
Yeah, let me get into that, and let me give a shout out to One Stop for Gamers, because he officially quit tonight as the face of Xbox. He said he was done with it. And, I mean, I'm just this community reaction, a solid rev is. I mean, he went ballistic. Yeah. These are some big, these are some pretty prominent YouTubers and guys that I've, tried to take some things from, and they got invited. This overall, well, let me get into the games. Let's start with the first three, because I can honestly say after physically seeing these first three games running on the Scorpio, I literally had to take a step back. Forza Motorsport 7 to me looks stunning. I mean, I literally was there like, my God, that looked almost photorealistic. They follow that up with a Metro, which I believe is multi-plat, by the way. Follow that with Assassin's Creed, and they did the Egyptians, they gave them the business. They gave them the work. They finally got a black Egyptian. They didn't go spray painting somebody like they did Michael Fassbender's character in that horrible movie. So, but overall, let's go ahead and start with you, Kyle. The first three games, Forza 7 Motorsports, which is the only game, let me make this clear for all you Jack Reachers out there that said everything was going to be 4K 60. Out of the 42 games we saw, 42, this was the only game at this presser running 4K 60 native. This has been confirmed. But Cal, go ahead and start these first 3 games: Assassin's Creed, Metro, and then Forza 7 Motorsports. What did you think about it off the bat?
Okay, dude, off the bat when the press conference first started, we saw these 3 games. I was actually really hyped. I was really enjoying these 3 games. It was no surprise to me that Forza 7 was going to be showing off at the stage. I kind of expected that, as you would every year. Forza's an annual franchise, so it just makes sense. It's an easy game to get shown off on Scorpio. That's going to be 4K 60. Nothing really special there. If you played Forza Motorsport 5 and 6, you basically know it's going to be in the 7th game. Racing games aren't really for me. It did look pretty. I did like how they said they're going to have a lot more cars than they do in the previous games. That was pretty cool to me. I like how they brought out the whole new Porsche and they unveiled that. I thought that was really cool. They said nobody's ever seen that before. It looked pretty cool. And then the fact that they showed that off in the game itself and they brought out 2 race car drivers to actually play was pretty cool. I thought that was like one of their better show-off games for the Scorpio, at least for the first one. It made a lot of sense to me. Let's go over to the second one, and that's a Metro Exodus. That one might have been my favorite E3 trailer for this E3. You know, the graphics in that game look so good. When it first started, I was like, wait, what game is this? Then as it went on and I saw the monsters and stuff coming out, I was like, okay, this is another Metro game. I played the past ones and they're pretty fun. They're pretty cool. It looked gorgeous. I love the little crossbow and like the environment, how everything looked. I thought the shadows and whenever he lit up the lighter to get rid of those cobwebs, I thought that was pretty cool in my opinion. Really hyped for that game. It's a multi-plat, so it's not an Xbox exclusive. But I thought, props for Microsoft for getting that on their stage for this year. I'm really hyped for that game. I know about y'all. And then the third game we had was Assassin's Creed Origins. And wow, taking a year off really seemed to help the team get focused on making a better game for this year. Origins is going to be set in Egypt. It looks like it's going to be going back to the roots of Assassin's Creed. It's made by the Black Flag team. And I really enjoyed the Black Flag game, Assassin's Creed 4. I thought that was cool. It's going to be coming October 27th. It's multi-plat again. But that game looked absolutely stunning, like in most of the trailers we saw, it said Ultra HD graphics. They're trying to show that off. I thought that was pretty funny, but I thought the new weapons were pretty cool. It seems like it's going to be more of an RPG type of game with loot and that kind of a stuff. I thought the crossbow was cool. The combat seems a lot more fun than it was, especially in Assassin's Creed Syndicate. But yeah, overall, man, the first 3 games, they were really good games to show off, and they really piqued my interest. So I might be picking those up this year. What about y'all?
Well, Kratos, when you chime in, also chime in on for me, Assassin's Creed definitely. I'll just be getting on the Pro, but chime in, Kratos, on the whole. I don't know if people notice this and people in the chat, so shout out to you guys in the chat. The whole Ultra HD thing versus the Scorpio Enhanced. So with these 3 games, Kratos, go ahead and start with Forza, and then on the back end of that, chime in on what you feel, because Kratos, he's kind of my tech go-to guy, so he's volunteer de facto, and I appreciate it. So go ahead and chime in for the people who are over here in the chat also, and then also for me, because are we looking at possibly sparse rendering with these titles?
You know what? When you look on the PlayStation box for those games that take advantage of the Pro, it says Pro Enhance. Yeah. That doesn't mean it's an exclusive game or it's any other reason. It's enhanced. That means that you're going to get higher resolution or higher textures or higher frames, but it's still the same game. And enhanced mean higher or better feature set than the original PlayStation 4. And you're going to have the same thing with the Scorpio. I kept telling people, guys, temper your expectation. So now guess what? Microsoft has shown both hands. They will have games that are 4K native, but they will also, some of the more demanding games, it will be enhanced. And, 9 times out of 10, it's going to be enhanced through a different rendering technique, such as sparse rendering or the CPU scaling that they talked about on how, it's able to use some different techniques in the CPU, basically kind of sparse render the CPU to get some more performance out of it. Either way, it doesn't matter, to me, the end user, it's a great experience. You're going to play it just like I play the Pro. I have no qualms about it, whether it's 4K native or 4K checkerboarded. It's still a greater fidelity than I could have on the previous console or any other one. So, for those guys who are looking for a unwavering 4K 60, you need to go get your PC. That's what you need to get. And that way you can make sure you have 4K 60 across the board. Now that I got that out, let's go to the conference and what I enjoyed. Starting the conference with the Assassin's Creed, man, that game looks beautiful. I haven't played Assassin's Creed in a while, only because, the whole series is known as Creed, and for good reason. Seriously, for good reason. I mean, how many games they're going to keep cranking out from that? So I'm glad they took some time off, and it looks like it's really going to pay off. Keep in mind, this game is not exclusive. It will be enhanced for the Scorpio as well as the Pro. So whatever platform you have or you plan on getting, enjoy it. The next game, which I really agree with Kyle here, is that the Metro, is probably the most graphically intense or graphically enhanced game that I really enjoyed. Next to the last game that they showed, which was a mixture between Titanfall and Mass Effect. It's kind of like they mashed those two together. But once they showed Metro, I was like, holy crap! This is this is a Metro game, and I'm glad they showed some gameplay. And it really looks gorgeous. It really looks good. I'm glad they're gonna do justice to that game. So I can't wait to play that. What other games they had that really kind of stood out? Those two were the biggest games I was looking forward to. You had some good indie games that I liked.
A lot of indies.
Yeah, a lot of good indies that I like. I don't understand why with Ori and the Blind Forest they brought the guy out on the piano. The guy, came out for about 2 minutes. They didn't really show gameplay. They kind of showed the song and, in a little trailer, but other than that, that was it. So that was a weird moment. And they spend so much time on Sea of Thieves. And I'm like, my God, we've seen so much from Sea of Thieves. It's time to put this game out or shut it up. So I just knew that this game was about to release. And then I looked at all the dates on these games, and I realized some of these games should have been released like 2 years ago. And now they've been delayed again to 2018. So then I started thinking about, well, what games, if I'm a Xbox only guy and I have an Xbox One, I don't have any games releasing this year. I get Crackdown for those of you guys that like that, towards the end of the year, but I don't in Forza, but Forza is an annual game. So, but other than that, I've waited all year. All I got was Phantom Dust, Halo Wars 2, Forza. And Sony's released all of these freaking games every month, all exclusives. It just shows you between the two platforms. It really does.
Yeah, well, there's a person in the chat, Talioso, thinks that all these games they showed were exclusives. And I'm telling him, I'm typing, I'm like, no, you only saw maybe, I'm looking at the list. So you're looking at maybe 5 exclusives.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah.
So, and a lot of them are timed.
Yeah. And keep in mind, though, the exclusive, I mean, you got Forza, yes, that's exclusive, but it depends on your definition of exclusive because almost 99% of those games are coming out on PC. This conference was the conference, Craig, that we talked about for the last month. This was the conference to end all conferences. This was the make or break conference for Microsoft. This was the last of the Mohicans. And this is what they needed to sell their hardware. They got a brand new powerful hardware come out and they needed to sell it. They needed to come and take my $500. And I just really can't say that they did that.
They did not sell it.
I was going to ask. Yeah, I got an Xbox One S, and I'm not buying this thing. I mean, I told people earlier, if it goes at $499, And they said, because Assassin's Creed, I didn't mean to cut you off there, Kratos,
No
but
problem.
Assassin's Creed, that broke, it was 4K 30, and not that it was 4K native, it was only 4K 30, which means they may use a dynamic resolution to get it there. And I told people, I'll tell every Xbox person that's here in the chat and will hear my voice, if I will trade in my Xbox One S, but you all are going to pay the difference on this. If not, I'm not getting it. So flat out, I'm just keeping it real. So especially with these games, I mean, look, Battlegrounds looked interesting. Deep Rock, I mean, again, that's just a big, giant multiplayer game. So State of Decay, I mean, 2018, I mean, that was disappointing. I guess it's State of Decay 2. That was disappointing as hell.
Disappointing.
Darwin. Minecraft, okay, I get that. Minecraft arguably the most popular game in the world, but I don't need an Xbox.
It's about damn time they got those 4K textures.
Yeah. Dragon Ball Z, which, all right, they're reaching out to the Japanese community, So now let me get you all's opinion on these games. Black Desert, which was the big MMO they showed, which I thought was interesting last night, and then The Artful Curve. And those 3 games right there. Let me start with The Artful Curve. That to me looked interesting, but these games look like they should be friggin' $29.99. So
yeah.
Kyle, what do you think about that? Black Desert last night, and then The Artful Curve. So.
Dude, I'll tell you, I did not expect to see that many indies up on stage, man. I mean, Black Desert isn't an indie. I mean, it's an MMO, and that's cool that it's free to play and stuff. But I mean, I think it's cool that it's coming to Xbox. That has a market of its own. But I'm not interested in MMOs. There's already a lot of games coming out this year. I noticed that a lot of these indies are coming out the day Scorpio releases, which is interesting to me. Yeah. But Black Desert, it was a cool trailer. I liked. The graphics and stuff look cool. It's an MMO. It's basically what you expect if you play those kind of games. It's cool and all. Last night, it was a cool trailer. I'm not really into the pixelated thing. It was cool. I'm definitely interested in that. But is it something I want to spend $20-$30 on? No. I'm going to save my money. I'm going to get the AAA games coming out. I'm going to get the Crackdowns. I'm going to get the not State of Decay 2, but the Forzas, all the other games that are coming out, all the multiplats that are coming out, maybe Assassin's Creed, Call of Duty, Battlefront 2. There's just so many other games to buy other than these indies that it just really just did not interest me that much. And then the Artful Escape, that looked weird in my opinion. Not really the hallucinogen stuff looked pretty cool. The visuals were pretty dope in my opinion, but I don't want to spend my money on that. I'd rather spend it on a AAA exclusive, and we're only apparently getting 2 this year. Well, 3 if you count Halo Wars 2, but that's not really a game I'm interested in either. And I know a lot of the Xbox community is not interested in that as well, but I just thought we'd have more this year. I thought State of Decay 2 was going to be coming out. I was ready to drop money on that thing, but I don't know, man. These indies I'm not really too impressed with. The Ori and the Blind Forest, the second one, that looked pretty cool. The Lucky's Tale looked pretty cool, but just a lot of indies that I'm not really interested in, man. What about y'all?
They had some indies that I like the one you said, the one that was kind of pixelated, but at the same time it was kind of realistic. I looked at that. That's something I could probably get into. But indies are those type of games, guys, I do buy, but I generally buy them when either there's a drought going on or when I have some downtime from games. After I, beat a game and I'm waiting for something else to come, then I'll pick up those games. But, they're
just launching right at the holiday season when all these other AAA multiplayer games are coming out.
Well, and
get drowned under, in my opinion.
Here's the problem. The bulk of these games coming out this year are going to drop on the PlayStation and the PlayStation Pro, already doing 4K HDR and whatever they're going to do. Exactly. So, you got 1 or 2 months later, then the Scorpio is going to drop. So if I'm an Xbox guy, do I just sit on my hands and just keep waiting? Or do I save some money and go buy me a Pro at $349 or $399 and have money left over and just go buy a shitload of games? I mean, tomorrow is going to be very telling. I hate to say it. The conversation that we have today, Craig and Kyle, the conversation is going to be totally different tomorrow after Sony's conference. I guarantee you, forget any and everything we saw today. Come tomorrow.
Oh, I'm more excited for the Sony conference now that I've seen this disaster. Definitely ready to see some good multiplayer games.
Yeah.
Well, I just think that I think they'll change their conference. I think they were probably. I think me and Kratos were saying Sony probably came in loaded for bear, but I don't think they have to be now. I mean, I think they can show some gameplay. Now, to me, they got to show gameplay, but if they just give us release dates on, God of War and Spider-Man and things like that. But yeah, let's move into to Code Vein. Go ahead, Kratos.
I just want to follow up right behind you since you led with that. So keep in mind now, yes, Microsoft is Sony competition, but you got to realize Sony has to make this PlayStation thing work for them because this is their bread and butter. So they're not going to sit back and relax because financially they can't afford to. So Sony's going to keep hammering it home as much as possible because they need to make sure that this is the only platform that you will play on come holiday season and any other season. And keep in mind, guys, just to wrap this up, Sony has some of the biggest games coming out. So I'm going to go out on a limb, say we're going to get God of War this year. We're probably going to get Spider-Man this year. And I think they are going to drop the price of the Pro. They want to go for the jugular right now. I think they want to go ahead and they don't want to give Microsoft a chance to breathe. They just want to make a stark distinction between the two companies. And I think they're going to do that tomorrow.
Yeah, I just if they really want to really end it, and to me it's already over, but if you want to look at it this through the pure eyes of fanboyism, they could end this tomorrow. I mean, literally just put them down for good. If they do what, but I think they're going to change their show. I think they're going to scale it back. But now Code Vein, I think Code Vein is the game to look eerily like Neo, folks. I mean, and literally that's what I was looking at was a Neo clone as far as the way the people were moving. Again, shout out to Phil Spencer and them for getting these JRPGs. Let's give them credit. People tore them a new one for just giving that entire genre to Sony, but Code Vein, they showed that, but Code Vein is again. I was wrong. Code Vein's a multiplayer. It is coming to the PlayStation. So Microsoft cut them a check and they were able to get it over there. They followed Code Vein with Sea of Thieves and then Tacoma, which I think was a drift because this is the game me and you talked about Kratos a couple weeks ago. I'm like, where's that game where they were in space or doing something, and followed by a game where it looked like a damn fox, and I literally was on the floor. I had to mute the mic I was using for the podcast. I was laughing so hard at this piece of crap. But these 4 games, and I'll go in reverse order this time. Kratos, start this off with go with Code Vein. Then they show Sea of Thieves after that, which I think that's trash. I'm not going to buy that game. And again, I have an Xbox One S. Anybody wants to friend me on there? I'm situated Spoon 26. Followed by Tacoma, then the raccoon or fox game, which at that point they lost me as a consumer. I'm already one of their consumers, but they lost me at that point. If I was really going to invest in Scorpio or something like that, they lost me at that point. But pick it up right there, brother, if you don't mind.
Okay. Code Vein, man, looks like a really good game, really beautiful game, artistic wise. And it's what, if you're a PlayStation fan and you love JRPGs and action and Japanese action games like Bloodborne and Soul series, this is the game that you've been asking for on the Xbox side. It's like you're glad to get those type of games on the Xbox platform. And what was the second game that you stated?
Tacoma, yeah, which was, I think it was a drift. It looked like a drift, but I don't know if it will. I'll never be able to prove it, but it just looked like a drift.
It may be one of those fluffer titles to kind of pad the portfolio. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I mean, you kind of want to show the whole, hey, we got games from this particular segment for you guys, so we're trying to show our diversity. And what was the last game You said I really
the one with the fox, the one like somebody said,
Lucky, yeah.
They said Sonic the Hedgehog should sue them because that game looked like Sonic.
Well, put it like this: I have that game on PC. It came with my Oculus Rift, called Lucky Tales. That's what it is. It's a VR game that came for free if you bought the Oculus Rift, and it's a great game. I'm not gonna lie; it's a beautiful game, and I thought it's I would it as if you're into VR, it's the Mario of VR. That's how I'll put it. And it's lucky because it's created by Lucky Palmer, the guy who created the whole Oculus thing.
Okay.
That's how I got that name. But it's a really good game in VR. I wouldn't care for it too much on a side scrolling on a freaking regular console, but in VR it's ridiculous. I mean, it's a great game, a solid 10 every day. So a lot of people, this came out of left field. They didn't know what it was, where it came from. Well, that's where it came from, guys.
Okay, well, that's cool. Kyle, what do you think about those 4 games? If you want to comment on are you going to get Sea of Thieves? That's something that you're interested in, or Tacoma, something like that?
So I'll actually start with we'll start with Code Vein. That's a game that really interested me. The gameplay in that looked really fun. I like those hack and slash type of games. We've really been missing out on the JRPG games this generation on Xbox. Glad Phil went to Japan to lock down some of these games. Maybe not lock down, but get them at least over to Xbox as multi-platform games. Like you said, it looks really similar to Neo. For all you guys that don't know, I only own an Xbox, the OG Xbox, so I don't have access to all these JRPGs that have come out this generation. So that's a game that really interests me. I'm really glad that he's going out there getting some of these Japanese titles like the Dragon Ball Z and that type of stuff. So I think I'm actually going to be picking up Code Vein next year when it launches. And then let's move over to Tacoma. I just literally watched the trailer again. It's 35 seconds. It really doesn't interest me at all. If you like exploration, discovery, mystery, stories like that, then maybe it's your cup of tea, but it's not mine. It's not something I want to spend $20 on. Like I've been saying earlier, for most of these indies, Tacoma looks okay, graphically and stuff, but like I said, it just doesn't really interest me. And then we're talking about Super Lucky's Tale, which you said that was on the VR for the Oculus Rift, and that looks cool. It's a little platformer. Not really interested in that. It literally looks exactly like Tales from the Sonic series, so I think that's a little bit of a ripoff, in my opinion. It looks cool if you're into those type of games. Maybe I'll pick it up, maybe I won't. Probably just be something that I'll wait for a review, see how people feel, how long it is, how much it actually is going to cost when it comes out. It's probably one of the most important part for most of these indies. And then what was the last game you said? Was it Sea of Thieves? Okay, so Sea of Thieves is something that I think that Microsoft is really trying to get in with the Minecraft crowd, the little kids. Right. It's got that cartoon graphics style to it. You're supposed to be playing with friends, similar to Minecraft and stuff. And we've been seeing this game for multiple E3s now, and we just now finally saw a gameplay of it to where they're actually doing something besides driving the boat around and picking up loot from treasure and really hauling it back to port or whatever. We actually saw them shoot the gun, kill some skeletons, use the map to kind of a quest type of thing. I thought that was pretty cool. It's much needed. I'm glad they showed that because we haven't really seen that from Sea of Thieves yet. It was kind of expected, or at least to me, that it was going to get delayed till 2018. There's no way it's going to be fitting into this holiday season. The lineup of games is just way too packed for me. But yeah, the gameplay went on, at least in my opinion, a little bit too long. I think they could have chopped it up a little bit. Definitely towards the end, it made more sense as they were killing skeletons. They found that legendary chest. I thought that was pretty cool, but yeah, overall, man, Sea of Thieves doesn't really interest me that much. Maybe if I was younger, maybe, but there's just other things to be playing, and that's coming out spring 2018, as well as State of Decay 2. But I'm more interested in that in 2018. So, not really my cup of tea. I don't know. What do you think, Craig?
Well, I think if Red Dead Redemption comes out at the end of Q1, it's gonna smash everything.
Everything.
So that's the game you got to kind of be looking out for. Not to mention Sony will release, the MLB The Show game that always comes out around that time, and
the God of War might get delayed till spring 2018 as well.
Yeah, it's just gonna be tough. All right, we'll move in after that. They showed Cuphead finally. They got a release date. Thank God. And again, for the people out there that say Microsoft or Sony shows games and we don't get them for 2-3 years. Cuphead was shown what in 15. So let's get over ourselves, people. That's just a fact. Then of course they follow that with Crackdown, which is releasing day and day with the Xbox X. And then they follow that by another indie, Ashen, which I have heard of Ashen. So that looked pretty cool to me. But again, it looks like something you go to the Xbox store on and just buy. You know, nothing major here. But go ahead and start this off, Kratos. Go ahead and start with Cuphead, move into Crackdown and Ashen.
Well, like you said, I mean, Cuphead is one of those games, you know, it's an indie game, so just throw that game out there. That would have been a nice game, you know, to kind of have in the summer or, you know, the earlier part of the year, but it is what it is. I'm going to get it, but from what I hear right now, looking online, that game is selling in droves on Steam.
Yeah,
so, you know, it's not, Microsoft is not even getting the biggest benefit of that, but it is what it is. You know, it's a game I'll probably play. I wish that game was on the Switch. That would make a nice handheld game because of the art style and stuff like that.
Yeah, shit, it still may be. Who knows?
yeah, exactly. And all of these games that should have been out, man, they're getting delayed to 2018. So I'm keep asking myself, is there a reason in 2017 to even get the Scorpio? Why wouldn't a person just wait? Keep what you have and just wait until 2018 when you actually have some games for it.
I tell you this, I bet you by I'll say this, I'll predict this. I say by the summertime, the Scorpio will be down from $499 to
$399.
Yeah, it's gonna come down.
Yeah, remember the last one, the Xbox One. Within 6 months, the price dropped by $100. So I'm a little bit more cost conscious when it comes to Microsoft now because of that.
Yeah. Yeah, go ahead, Gamers Unite. Oh, did you want to chime in on Crackdown then?
Yeah. Okay. Crackdown. Guys, this was their end-all be-all game. What, 2-3 years ago? They did the demo. They did the whole demo with the cloud, and it was going to be able to do this and do that, and guys hyped that up. Then it went dead for a couple of years. Now it came back, and all they showed was, you know, Terry Crews coming out on stage, and then they showed the trailer of the game, and then that was it. I'm like, wait. This was supposed to be a game that you gave us 8 to 10 minutes. That the time that you spent on Sea of Thieves, that should have been time reserved for Crackdown. This is your system seller, supposedly. This is the game that is launching on launch day. Why would you just show us a 2-minute trailer that does not even show the gameplay? I don't get it. So I'm still baffled about that game. Right now, I'm kind of worried. From what I hear now, it won't even have the cloud power with it. So it won't have that destructible damage that they talked about. That's what's going on. Yes. And that's what's going on right now on IGN and some of the other places.
Wow. So, well, that's
I don't know.
That's crazy.
Yeah, I don't know what the hell's going over there in Redmond. I don't know what's going on, man. God, this was supposed to have been a game that they finished, that they topped off. This was supposed to be a make drop game, and it turned out to be just a honorable mention. I don't get it, guys. I don't get it at all.
Well, but before you chime in real quick, Kyle, let me just say this. This was a game that was shown in 2014, E3. So so this is extremely disappointing. And Psycho Gamer flat said on Twitter, quote, let me bring up his tweet, quote, Crackdown is going to be, quote, revolutionary, end quote. The only thing that was revolutionary was the damn disappointment. So go ahead, Kyle, with these 3 games, Cuphead, Crackdown, and then Ashen go ahead and go with that right there.
All right, man. I'll just start with Ashen. I thought the gameplay was very interesting. It kind of like seemed like it was something from like Dark Souls or Bloodborne, you know, like methodical, like combat. It kind of like it's really hard for me to explain it. It's pretty cool. Like I said, for all the other indie games, or I don't even know if this is an indie game, but it definitely just depends on the price point, you know, when it's going to be coming out. and everything like that. You know, it's a very cool. I like the art style. I like the gameplay. Like I said, the enemies look pretty cool. I agree with you, Kratos. On like, I wish it was coming out for the Switch. That'd be pretty cool, in my opinion. To have like on the go or something like that. But yeah, Ashen and they didn't really like surpass like my expectations for something that I'm trying to like actually buy. If we move over to Cuphead, Cuphead, it's like the fourth E3 where they've shown that. I was really expecting it to be out like where they drop the mic and they're like, "Yo, this is out right now. Go pick this up right now." Exactly. And it's gonna be coming out in I think it said September.
Yeah.
So after Destiny, people are gonna be busy on that for a while. So we'll see what happens with that game. It looks cool. The cartoon graphics are cool.
Madden. Don't forget about Madden in September.
Yeah, Madden 2 as well. You got FIFA as well. All the sports games. But Cuphead looked pretty cool. I don't know if I'm gonna pick that up. They said they were taking their time with that game, and the art style and the art direction is cool. The graphics, like the little videos, the clips and stuff they show, but it's not really my cup of tea. But then we get over to Crackdown 3, and oof, they didn't even show gameplay of this game. Like little sizzle reel clips of this, and I was really like, they showed more of Sea of Thieves than they did Crackdown 3, and that's coming out this year. It's really interesting. It kind of bugs me, honestly, because that was my most anticipated game for this year was Crackdown 3, and I was hoping we'd go in depth with it. We'd go through like a mission. We'd see some destructible environments, something like that. Maybe we see like 2 or 3 people get on stage playing together, doing a mission co-op or something like that, because that's how the game was marketed like 2 to 3 years ago. So that's my thoughts on Crackdown 3, man. It's interesting. We'll have to see what happens with this game when it comes out. I'll see the reviews before I pick it up. But I wouldn't be surprised if this game came out and people gave it like terrible review scores.
Yeah, let me just say this now. Microsoft's E3 is not done, Pete. This is for the people in the chat. They're they will still have gameplay and stuff like that all day tomorrow, off and on. You can tune into E3 and watch it, you know. But yeah, overall, Kratos, go ahead. I didn't mean to cut you off. I know you're gonna say something there, brother.
Yeah, you're right. You know, the conference isn't up for Microsoft. We're gonna see, you know, they have smaller booths and stuff. Right now, I'm watching a 5-minute clip of Forza 7 in 4K that's supposedly running on the Scorpio. So this was released after the conference. So you know, this whole week, guys, we're gonna be getting new information and stuff like that. This conference, what we just watched a little bit earlier, was just to whet our appetite for what was the future coming, and you know, where was Microsoft. You know, the fact that they're still in this industry and they're still willing to compete somewhat should give us great, you know, solace that they're not going to pull out. You know, you know, no matter how much you're underwhelmed with them in this conference, you still have to support them. You know, they gave you a 6 teraflop system. It's $499. There eventually there's going to be some great compelling games for it, or even if you're just into the multiplats, it's still a system worth buying. Maybe not for $499 right now. If you have an Xbox One, just, you know, if you're not into spending $500, just stick with it. The games are still coming to PC and the original Xbox One. So you know, it don't always have to be doom and gloom for Microsoft, but yeah, when you kind of compare it to Sony's, you just shake your head because you know Sony's just going to come out and make a killing them all.
Facts. Well, they I mean, yeah, we'll finish with these last 4, their final 4, which I'm going to admit were strong. But again, all but one was a multiplat. Life is Strange 2, which is a confirmed prequel. Now, I never did play Life is Strange because, again, it was the episodic stuff. And I think if you pre-order right now on the Xbox store, you can get 1 through 3, episodes 1, 2, and 3, like, you know, pre-ordered. So that's kind of good. They show Shadow of War, which I think has been confirmed 4K native, running either 30
and not to cut you off, but right now, on the PlayStation, Life is Strange 1 through 3 is free if you have PlayStation Plus.
Well, as far as the Life is Strange 1,
yes.
Oh yeah, you're right about that. Yeah, he's right. Kratos is right. Yeah, and also big shout out MLB The Show, Horizon Zero Dawn, and Shitfire, Neo. They're all $39.99 right now. I don't know how long it's going to last, but please, if you folks do not have these games, here's your chance to buy them. I mean, damn, you get 3 games for like $130. That's get a pretty good deal. But they do Life is Strange, Shadow of War, which I believe is a 4K game, which I don't know if it's 4K 60 or 4K 30. And then they show Ori and the Blind Forest, which again looked stunning. They showed no gameplay, but just the game looked stunning. And they're patching all these games, where it be. They were talking about Gears of War 4, which, again, if you already have an Xbox One S and you have a 4K TV, you're getting upscaled to 4K. You're not going to see that big of a difference in native. You'll see a little bit of a difference, not that big a deal. They talk about Ghost Recon, but Ghost Recon on the PlayStation Pro is 1800p upscaled to 4K, So, and then they finish, I think, with the one everybody probably arguably the best in show, Anthem, which again is a BioWare game. And as a Mass Effect fan, I have to sit and watch this game. This is what Mass Effect could have been, So, and but they show Anthem, which is a multi-plat game, and it's not coming out for 2 goddamn years. So we'll start reverse order this time. KRATO'S, go ahead and start with the Life is Strange, and then go ahead and finish it off there with Anthem.
Well, tell you what, I downloaded it on the PlayStation Plus for free. I haven't started it yet, but I will be starting that game. It looked interesting originally when it came out, and it was just one of those titles that I just didn't grab for whatever reason. But I will be giving that a run through. The fact that it got a sequel is telling enough that a lot of people supported that game. Anthem, that will be probably one of the biggest juggernauts of a game next year. Mind you, it said I think it's going to launch at fall of 2018, so we won't see this game for quite a while. And then knock on wood, I hope it doesn't delay, get pushed back into 2019. But the game looked like a twist between Titanfall and Mass Effect. That's how I would put that game.
Yeah,
I can't wait to play it. It looked beautiful to me. The weather effects, the creatures, all that stuff. But it just kind of had this sense of the Titanfall, because the mech landed, just like Titanfall and stuff like that. So I don't know if they kind of mishmash these games and worlds together to come up with that.
Yeah. What about Ori and Shadow of War? What do you think?
Shadow of War, obviously I have the Shadow of Mordor right now on the PlayStation 4 Pro. It's in 4K, HDR. The game is freaking beautiful. And I had the game for the original PlayStation 4, and once they came out with the Pro and they got that patched, and it bred new life into the. So I'm still playing that ever so often now. Looking forward to that game. It seems like it's going to play much like the first one. So I'm going to buy it. I'm interested in it, but it wasn't anything groundbreaking that I saw.
Okay.
And Ori and the Blind Forest, it is what it is. It's Ori and the Blind Forest. That was a game that, it was an independent title. Obviously, Microsoft backed it, but still the essence of it is an indie, smaller, niche type game. It won reviews last time, and I think it's going to win reviews this time with the music, the artistry, and stuff like that. So it may be one of those games I pick up, but definitely not at the top of my list.
Oh, heard that. Well, Kyle, go ahead and take us home, brother.
Gotcha, man. So Life is Strange. I never played the first game. I don't really know what it's about. I imagine it's a story adventure just like this one. But it looks cool. We saw a lot of CGI. We didn't really see too much like gameplay or anything. And maybe that's a good thing. It said it's coming out I think August 31st or whatever, and it's going to be like a 3-part standalone story adventure. So that seems pretty cool in my opinion. Kind of like the Telltale series games. They release like a new episode every like couple months, keep people coming back and stuff. So that's pretty cool in my opinion. Not really into like that kind of stuff, but not a bad game by any means. A lot of people will be interested in that, and it's not releasing at a bad time. So that's good for a bunch of people if you're into that kind of stuff. If we move over to Ori and the Will of the Wisps, the sequel to the Blind Forest. It's a really interesting game. I never actually played the first one. A lot of people have said it's really good. I thought that like the CGI trailer was really, really interesting. It's got my attention definitely. I'm gonna be waiting. Hopefully it'll release like next year so we can pick it up. I thought it was emotional a little bit towards the end when like they're like the little blue things up against the owl and they're just looking at like the bones of whatever that is. So it's got my attention definitely. Just want to see a little bit of gameplay for that. Like another indie game, but that's pretty cool in my opinion. And then we got the Shadow of War, which was delayed from August like 20 something to October 10th or something like that. And maybe they did that to show it off on the Scorpio. Maybe they did it to get out of the way of Destiny, since Destiny 2 was going to release about a week later. Not too sure on that. Maybe they just needed extra time to polish some things. But that looks like a really interesting game. Like you said, it looks to be 4K 60 on the Scorpio. Keep calling it Scorpio, even though it's Xbox One X, but this is going to be a problem for a couple of days. But I'm really interested in that. That's actually on my game list that I'm going to be picking up this year. Definitely, right. I loved the first one. I got the first one on a disc. Recently picked it up a couple weeks ago. Beat it again. Absolutely love the game. Can't wait to see what features they're going to be adding. The Nemesis system is an iconic, revolutionary system that I really wish a lot more developers would use in their games. And it's got like the Batman Arkham combat in there, which is really interesting to me. And it just looks like it's building off the first one. And it's going to be an even better sequel. So I'm really interested for that game. And then we had Anthem, which was the last game they showed off at E3 this year on Xbox's stage. And I'm really interested in this game. I said that the Metro was probably my #1 trailer, but I would say Anthem is probably right behind it. Even though we may not get this game until late 2018, early 2019, I'm still super excited. I want them to take their time with this. I want them to get it right. A lot of people are saying this is the Destiny killer. I agree with you, Kratos, that this is like a mix-up between Titanfall and Mass Effect. I'm really digging that kind of vibe it's giving off. Like the exploration, the graphics look absolutely amazing, like the jetpacks. What I'm also really interested is to see like it's hard to explain this, but it's just like the gameplay in the suit and out of the suit. I'm interested to see what we're going to be doing out of the suit. If we're going to be just getting like quests and things like that, or if there will actually be missions where you're out of the suit fighting monsters and things like that. But Anthem definitely is going to be something I'm going to be looking out for next E3. Hopefully we'll be seeing some actual like more gameplay of this, but it looks cool the way that there was 4-player co-op. People just dropped in randomly to help you out with the mission. That storm, the loot system looks pretty cool. So I'm really excited for this. That's pretty much it, man.
Yeah, I can't. Yeah, Anthem for me, now it's a multi-plat. I think part of the issue I had with this presser was first of all, the price. I just got to keep it 100 right there. That's bullshit for what I saw for a bunch of indie games. And again, I know people went in on Microsoft for not having enough indies and stuff like that, but it's almost like, look, I'm a former Bengals fan. They needed to draft a receiver last year. They drafted one this year. So, and it's just kind of like, this is why I'm no longer a Bengal fan. It's just like Microsoft is coming in too late. With that said, they've got a lot of games, but man, let me just tell you as a consumer, and I agree with Anthem. Yeah, that to me, the jetpack, yeah, you could see Mass Effect written all over, and the particle effects were phenomenal on this game, and even the weather, like Kyle was just talking about. But as far as a consumer at $4.99, did I see enough to move me from my Xbox One S? And I already had the 4K TV, so I don't know what the percentage is of Americans with 4K TV. So did I see enough to just go ahead and get this console? Not no, but hell no. I mean, I've seen the damage control is out of space at this point. So, you can't get Xbox guys to come to your channels right now. They're just in hiding, So, and but $4.99, and I don't see it. And yeah, look, Forza 7 looked stunning. Looked absolutely stunning. So did Anthem. But again, Anthem, Life is Strange, Shadow of War, those are multi-plat games, people. And we didn't see Sucker Punch. All I kept hearing about is something called Sucker Punch. I don't know what that is, but I felt like I got Sucker Punched. We didn't see that. We did, so it's just I overall, I'm going to start with myself first. I'm giving this conference a 2.8 out of 5. Out of 5, because just to be honest here, they did show some very good-looking games, but that's to be expected when you're running 6 teraflops of power, So, but the games did look good. Kratos, I'll go to you next. All the stuff we have been hearing, Vega Rising, 4K 60 uncompromised. Did $499? Are you satisfied, and are you willing as a consumer, like I said, take off the fanboy hat, as a consumer to jump in and get this console at $499?
You know what? If I didn't have a PlayStation 4 Pro, it would be really, really compelling for me. And I took my fanboy hat off, but the fact that I own multiple consoles, it makes it a lot less compelling. Plus, I have a PC. I have a Alienware gaming laptop and a powerful PC rig. So now, I'm going to buy. I've told you a long time ago. Of course, I'm going to buy it. I buy everything. That's just me. But I'm not the masses. And you have to make that argument for the masses. I told Phil Spencer, hey, I have $500 with your name on it, but you're going to have to come and take it. You're going to have to show the compelling games and the compelling reason for me to take it. This is why exclusives are so important to a platform. Yes, it's okay to be kumbaya and have games on everybody's platform, but if you had that, then what reason is there for a person to buy your platform over another one? You have to make that argument, and I do not think Microsoft made that argument today. But with that being said, anticipated games for the Scorpio is State of Decay, State of Decay 2, and Anthem. That would probably be it. Those are the only ones that really just made me, Forza is a yearly release, so Forza's Forza, and everything else was meh to me personally. That's just my opinion. But I give the conference a solid C, because they gave it an effort. I thought they was gonna really screw it up, but they kept my attention. I kept waiting for that big announcement at the end, that big game, or those big games. I kept looking at the watch, and they just never came. That made that argument saying, hey, you got to get me because you're not going to get this game anywhere else. And that's what Sony gives you. It gives you those games that say, haha, I look nice, don't I? Well, the only way you'll be playing me is if you buy into my ecosystem. If not, you're stuck like Chuck. Just like the Horizons, the Uncharted, and everything else. And so, I thought that Phil Spencer was going to reverse course on that, but it didn't look like he did. It looks like he didn't do it, and that's not their motto anymore. And I just wish him luck.
All right, Cal, you're the Xbox guy. You've done the videos. What did you see at this conference, if anything, that's going to have you move, buy a 4K TV if you don't have one? Let me make that clear, and then invest another. So basically, $1,100, which again builds you a pretty good 4K machine for a PC at $1,100. What makes you invest in it? And is this a day one buy for you on November 7th? Or are you at the midnight launch?
So $499. I've been expecting that price point. That's what I thought it was going to be. Phil Spencer has done a lot of interviews this year. He's been saying this thing is a premium console for the hardcore gamer, for the people that like to have the latest and greatest technology, for the people that have already invested in a 4K TV, not for the casual consumer that maybe picks up a couple games, doesn't have an Xbox Elite controller, that doesn't have that 4K TV. They're not trying to spend a lot of money on a brand new system every year. So for me personally, I do not want to pick this thing up because of a couple of factors. Number one is going to be I don't have a 4K TV. I was thinking that maybe if this console released at $400, maybe I would pick it up since I have a 1080p TV. But for $500, I'm not going to be getting everything out of the system on a 1080p TV. So in my opinion, why would I pick that up? For me, I think I'm going to just be picking up the Xbox One S. I got the Xbox OG over here, and it gets loud, but I'm trying to pick up a new console, and I was thinking, Scorpio or the S. Scorpio, the S. And they just now dropped the S to $199, and that's really cheap. That's dirt cheap for a console. I think that's cheaper than the PS4 Slim. So I think I'm going to have to go for the overall press conference. I'm going to give this a C with you, Kratos. I think it was a solid 7 out of 10. It kept my interest through a lot of it. It wasn't boring by any means necessary. There wasn't too much talking. I thought the beginning was really strong. Those 3 games that we talked about, and then the Forza car, the Porsche being released. But overall, after a certain point, it just felt like we were just seeing indie after indie after indie. There wasn't any big. Like you said, I was waiting for them to show that really big game to get me to want to purchase this thing, and I didn't see it. I was expecting teasers for some Xbox exclusives coming next year, not games getting delayed until the beginning of 2018. If we look at how many games Sony's released this year as exclusives, I've already lost count. Isn't it like 4 or 5 at this point? And they've already got more out than the Xbox has. We're gonna have 3 total exclusives this year, compared to like 5, depending on how much they release this holiday, which maybe we'll be getting Spider-Man, maybe you'll get God of War. But to me, this was not that successful of an E3. A lot of people said, like you said, you need to put up or shut up. And it just felt like they did the bare minimum to keep people interested. I don't think this was a complete disaster for them, but I do think that they've got a lot of people worried, and some people are going to be jumping ship. But I'm tired of saying this, but let's just wait until next E3. Maybe they'll have some good
really?
games.
Oh,
maybe.
Lord.
We'll see.
Oh,
We'll see.
wow.
I hate to say it, guys, but man, I've waited so long for this E3. I don't even know if the world's still gonna be here next year.
Exactly, man. I want the games now, not 2 years later. But the games I'm going to be getting this year, I'm going to be getting Crackdown 3, even if it's bad, because that has really piqued my interest. I'm not going to get Forza 7. I'm not really into racing games. I can pick up Forza 5 for dirt cheap and be the same game pretty much. I'm going to try and get in Destiny 2. I'm going to try the new Call of Duty. Hopefully that's good. Shadow of War, that's on my list. Battlegrounds looked pretty interesting to me. Assassin's Creed looks interesting to me. And then Code Vein for next year for me, for that Japanese game.
Yeah. Well, Craig, hey man, I think at this point in time, we have to start looking at Microsoft. Is going to have to start looking at Nintendo as a competitor. People keep writing Nintendo off or ignoring them, but one game, that Mario Odyssey, which the masses are waiting to see that game. That game will take all the talk at the end of this year when people are talking about not Scorpio, but Xbox One X. You got to keep that name relevant, because at that time, all of it, I don't know. I just think they're gonna have a hard time holding off. And people, with $299 would rather probably buy a Switch and get Mario and Mario Kart, Splatoon, and all the other games that are coming out. They're gonna start thinking about that. That $499 price tag probably was not a good idea, but I get it. It's a premium console, and they put a lot of work into it.
Well, I just don't see the premium thing on it as far as the games. I mean, I'm looking at
Right.
I mean, I'm not here to say that the games didn't look good, because they did. I mean, I looked at it on my 4K television. So so I was watching it in 4K. But and again, Anthem was kind of one of those games that if you see running somewhere, you may stop to say, "Hey, what are you playing?" But yeah, and so did Forza, but I just, man, $499 for that, and maybe I'm just trying to talk myself into it, but I mean, if Kyle's talking about wait till next E3, and all we've heard, well, Kyle, try to understand, all we have heard is wait till E3
Oh, yeah.
from last year, you know, and we've heard that's why I changed my little symbol there to the Ryzen CPU because it was just a big old lie. They didn't hit it, you know? And you know, just it's disappointing. I can't be, but you guys are making a legitimate point. They brought games, but it was just like they brought a bunch of games that they should have already had in the first place, but you're already in the Xbox ecosystem, so you can just go out and get these games when they come out. So I think they should have probably broken this press conference into two different parts. And in one part, they should have just said, here are all the Scorpio games. Or, I'm sorry, Xbox One X games. And then they should have said, well, here are the games coming out for the regular Xbox. So let me just throw them another bone here. Yeah, shout out to Dwayne Luster talking about where was Splinter Cell. Yeah, I have no idea where Splinter Cell was. You know,
it's located where Ryzen and Vega is.
Yeah, where the Ryzen Vega CPU is. Yeah. But let me throw about the OG Xbox games coming in. If they're going to go ahead and do that for, and I don't know if that was just for the Scorpio or for the X, or is for all the Xboxes. I mean, you're really giving the people who already have an Xbox One S a reason not to buy the console. It's kind of like, I'll just wait, you know, if I can play Crimson Skies and Phil did say we're not going to stop there. So wink, wink, nod, nod. We may get Splinter Cell. We may just get the older versions of Splinter Cell, you know. So, and my whole point is if I look at it as somebody who does not have a 4K TV, man, I'm going to drop a stack. You're dropping $1,000 just to play some games. And, oh, you know, if you're married, got a girlfriend, whatever, man, you're going to be $1,000. You ain't going to be able to get away with spending on that shit. You know, you're going to get your ass whooped, you know. So,
keep in mind, Michael Pachter just came out and said for $499, you can get an Xbox One S and a PlayStation 4 Slim for that price and have both platforms and be happy, have all the buffet of games you want.
Exactly.
Makes sense. That does make sense, especially because most people don't have, you know, a PlayStation. I mean, they don't have a 4K TV.
Yeah, you know what? How many times did we sit here, Kratos, and say that to like a Cycle Gamer or Widowmaker, and try and be like, dude, most people don't have a 4K TV. So
exactly.
And these were the same two talking about 4K uncompromised and 4K textures. Well, hey, look, buddy, if you want 4K textures on Darwin, Minecraft,
you know, 8-bit game, you know, an 8-bit game in 4K. Think about that. When you're thinking of Minecraft, you're thinking of Minecraft, yeah.
What'd y'all think of how the system looked, though? Did y'all think it looked good?
It looks like an Xbox One S, just a darker, matte black finish on it.
Does it look that much smaller to y'all?
No, it looks just it looks.
Well, they'll release some pictures either later tonight or tomorrow, but I thought that it looked a little bit smaller than the Xbox One S, and that alone is a engineering marvel. You know, let me make that clear. You know, that alone is an engineering marvel. So, I mean, again, you got to give them props because it's not like they're saying, and, you know, poor Cycle Gamer, he didn't say nothing on his Twitter after this press conference about 4K and all this kind of stuff. It was, well, people can't be saying that Microsoft isn't supporting games. Man, get the fuck out of here with that bullshit. Where are these 4K 60 uncompromised games? Where are they?
Yeah.
Delayed.
Yeah.
You know, so obviously Jack Reacher got a hold of a lot of these people, and all year long, all we heard was all this stuff. And it didn't about 72 hours ago, it was, oh, they released 9 gigs or something, and boy, these games are going to be, man, just stop. Stop it. It's over with. Let me get you all's predictions. I'll start with you, Kyle. What do you expect from Sony? What would you like to see from Sony? And what, I mean, literally, are you expecting Sony to do what a lot of people are now predicting? I'm predicting they're going to pull back. But are you thinking Sony goes for their juggler tomorrow? They go full they go Sub-Zero and rip their head off their shoulders and show them their body.
Dude, I think they're gonna absolutely do that. I think they're gonna absolutely dominate this E3. I think they don't need to pull back whatsoever. I think they should stomp on, like, even though I'm an Xbox guy, I think they should really show all their games and try to get some of these Xbox people over to PlayStation because they've got the games. They've got the PS4 Pro already out. They've got it for way cheaper than the Scorpio and the Xbox One X. What I'm waiting to see, I want to see some gameplay of the games they showed last year. I want to see some more Spider-Man. I want to see God of War. That looks very interesting to me.
Mhm.
I want to see games that want to make me go buy a PS4 Slim. I want to see games that go make me buy a PS4 Pro, even though I don't have a 4K TV. I want to see new IPs. I want to see what's that? I want to see Detroit Become Human. I want to see some gameplay of that. I want to see just Sony just come out swinging. I want to see a lot of these multi-platform games like Call of Duty and things like that. I just want to see them just really like flex their muscles. You know, we saw what Microsoft tried doing, and maybe I hope that they like have other stuff planned. I hope they like took stuff out of their show to not show. I mean, they could have showed Halo 6 and like a teaser for that or something, but I want to see some new games on Sony's stage. I mean, obviously we're going to get a lot of multiplats. Obviously, we may not see Red Dead Redemption 2. We're going to see like some Destiny 2 stuff, you know, the Call of Duties, Battlefronts, stuff like that. But I just want to see some more new IPs and things like that. I know Sucker Punch is supposed to be there, and maybe they'll have a new IP. Maybe it'll be a new Infamous game. I personally really enjoy the Infamous games. I play those over at my friends all the time. But yeah, man, like, what are y'all interested in? I just want to see games.
That Kratos, what do you think, brother? Do you think Sony goes for their jugular, or hold on. Halo Storm is in the chat, and I want to offer an olive branch because there's no way you're going to recover from this. So you can come into the discussion right now.
Be respectful
and try to explain. Yeah, be respectful and explain what the fuck just happened, or you can just forever hold your peace and just stay there in the chat. But all right, go ahead, Kratos, because out of all this bullshit trolling that the Xbox community, and I'm talking about their executives, people like that thing called man, what's his name? It's just slipping my tongue. Aaron Greenberg and all these guys showing a chip in their mouth and wearing
Major
shirts
Nelson.
saying the beast is coming. What do you think Sony does tomorrow? Do you think they pull back, or do you think they go for their jugular tomorrow?
You know what? If I'm Sony, I go for the finishing move.
Exactly.
Kick that dog while he's down. Kick that dog. You know, Microsoft had the perfect opportunity. If they would have launched this console at $399 and had a ton of compelling games that's coming out at launch, that means people can buy it and they don't have to wait to next year or next E3 or next holiday or whatever. That would have made Sony think. That would have forced them to drop their price. That would have forced them to redo and cause obviously they want to keep their lead. But now, Sony can coast. But if I'm Sony, again, this is Sony's bread and butter. These guys, Sony is in business just because of this PlayStation division. This is keeping the lights on. This is keeping, the wives happy at home. So they can't slack. So when people talk about, what competition is good, yes, competition is good, but good competition is good. Bad competition is the same as having no competition. And I think Sony's going to come out and show you why they are the behemoth and why they are the masters and why they did, knock Nintendo to a second tier, company and show them what this industry is all about. Sony came out and they've outlived, any and everybody who's come in competition with them. And they keep showing you, hey, we have E3, then we have Gamescom, then we have Tokyo Game Show, then we finish the year with our own PlayStation experience that shows you why we are what we are and why we invest in what we invest in. And you cannot hate them for that. So I think Sony comes out with the God of War. Once you hear that music, I'm hoping and I'm praying they have that orchestra that they had last year. Because, man, that is just going to set the tone. That's just going to set the tone. But keep in mind, Sean Layton has already said they're only going to spend 90 seconds talking. That's it. Everything else is strictly games. So that is, I think that there was their mic drop moment already. So that the hype can't be any higher than it is right now. We saw what Microsoft had to offer. And again, the bar is so low for Sony. Sony can come out and just fart on stage and walk off, and they already won E3. So, but I don't think they're going to do that. I think they're going to show people this is why you take that $499, you come over here and you buy a PlayStation 4 Pro, and you take the rest of the change and you go buy your Switch, because these are the best platforms to have at Tana. This is probably going to be Sony's. This is going to be their message.
Well, yeah, and to me, I just don't know what they're going to do at this point, because they've I'm looking at this list of games, and I'm telling you, if you're going to hang your hat on Anthem, even if you do that, okay, fine. That damn game doesn't come out, they said, till late 2018, which means we might as well just call it 2019. And you know, Life is Strange. The Xbox community don't buy that game, you know. The Cuphead is not going to sell. It's just not. I mean, I may buy it, you know, but Crackdown, I'm not going to buy. It's not Terry Crews's fault. I'm not going to buy it. I mean, you know, Assassin's Creed Origins, okay, I agree with Kyle. That game physically looked stunning. Okay, but it's a multi-plat. I can play it with, well, Microsoft should have more content, you know, and with these games they show, I will say that. But I mean, come on, where was this? I mean, Star Wars, these games, it's like they don't exist anymore on the Xbox. Star Wars Battlefront, not there. Destiny 2, not there. Red Dead wasn't there anyway. Call of Duty, we're gonna have to wait till tomorrow to see this
Destiny.
Shit. So
yeah.
And those are the big heavy hitters, and then, you know, here comes Spider-Man, and you know, like Kyle was saying, Detroit, which I don't know if Detroit's gonna be there. I'm hearing that it wasn't there. So
Days Gone.
Yeah, Days Gone. My gosh, I forgot about that. You know, DLC for for Horizon Zero Dawn with my girlfriend Aloy. I mean, what more?
Crash. I mean, there's so many games, Craig. I mean, you can keep going for hours and hours with names of games that they have.
I want to see The Last of Us 2, man.
Well, yeah.
I do, but I still personally think that game is maybe a year away. It'll probably be releasing next holiday. But if these guys come out showing some gameplay, that's another mic. I want Sony to come out and everything that they show be a mic drop, and they just never let off the gas until we're done, until we just get up, walk out of our homes, slam the door, and just start cursing. I want them to put the competition out of business, and they have, you know, they possibly can. They did it with last E3, and they did it at PlayStation Experience.
Yeah, well, I just, as somebody who's got an Xbox One S, there's just no reason for me to keep it. I won't say to keep it, but yeah, it's no Halo Storm. I'm not going to trade in my Xbox One S for that. I mean, I'm just not going to do it. I mean, it's just not worth it.
The trade-in value went down to $75.
Are you
Xbox One S overnight? Overnight.
Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
Is that in-store credit?
That's in-store credit. I told you guys.
That's terrible.
I told you guys to trade your systems in before the show, because once they announce that price, it's over.
It is over.
Yeah. Bro, the Xbox One X is not going to sell, man. It's not going to sell until it gets a price drop.
Oh my God, $75. I can't. Oh my!
You got to think about it. The system right now is only $199, and that's the standard price. That's not a sale price. That's the new low price of $199. So,
well, that's how much? 500 gigs, right? That's 500 gigs, right?
It really don't matter. Then the Xbox One S only comes in 1 terabyte. It didn't come in anything less than 1 terabyte.
Well, I mean, that's terrible. I'm looking at my let me look here now. If it's $499 here in Kentucky, that's going to be $530. I'm gonna round that down. Minus $75 for in-store credit. That's still $455. I can still get a PlayStation Pro and still have I don't know, about $38 left over. That's enough to buy me another game. This is terrible. This is a travesty. I'm serious. I mean, this is over. I'm up it. I'm over it. The car is in the driveway. It's running. I mean, I'm done with it. I mean, this has been a disaster. I mean, an absolute disaster. I'm extremely disappointed with them. And you know what? Maybe if these guys hadn't have been online talking about the beast is coming, talking about the Vega Ryzen CPU, these guys need to be rolled off the cliff and just dropped. I mean, not even tried to be saved. This is pathetic.
Yeah.
So,
yeah,
I mean,
you really hurt
Assassin's Creed
not having Geek or Halo at this show.
Keep in mind, guys, shout out to Dwayne Luster. He said Battlegrounds is for Xbox and PC. It's for PC. I have it on PC, and also just confirmed it's for PlayStation as well, sir.
Oh, God. So another multi-plat game. Now, let me give a shout out to another YouTuber, Jimmy B Gaming, because he did 2 podcasts today, and big shout out to him because he flat said, I'm a paraphrasing, he flat said Microsoft ain't got no exclusives hardly anymore. So they're going to show you a bunch of multi-plat games running on that console first. Yeah. So, you know, Halo Storm saying that his heart beat faster when they said OG Xbox. Oh, you know, why? I mean, you could go get an OG Xbox right now for like
$30,
$20, you know, so at a pawn shop. Don't just say, here, take it.
Yeah.
You know, and so, you know, just I just don't. And again, I understand that part ways. There are some cool games on there, and maybe they announce more by the time Scorpio comes out. But I'm not spending $4.99 to play games that came out in 2005.
Yeah.
What the hell's wrong with you all? You know,
to be fair, this is probably the console that should have came out at launch.
Oh, for sure.
But, you know, it is what it is. We can't cry over spoiled milk. The big question in everybody's mind, I guess what Craig is trying to get at is, did this conference make the case of why you need to come out of $500 in your pocket? And I think a lot of people right now on both sides are in the no category. There's some that's going to buy it regardless. But
I say wait. I say wait until the price drops.
Yeah, I'm gonna wait at least 6 months because I don't want to be like last time. You know, the thing drops by $100 at 6 months later. It seems like Microsoft does their best work when they are under pressure, about to go out of business. That's what it seems like, because they turned that OG Xbox around tremendously because everybody was flocking to the competition and seeing how they were possibly gonna give up the gaming thing and all kind of stuff, and they changed everybody's tone. They made people into a believer that they really cared about games again. And right now, my mindset on Microsoft is on Xbox is a lot favorable than it was 6 months ago. But I just I know it's going to take them some time for them to get some games and to fix that whole situation. I just don't know if I have a lot more time to keep giving them. I keep giving them to E3. I keep giving them to the holiday, and then that doesn't help. And then I give them to E3 again, and then I wait to holiday. We've been repeating this cycle for 4 years. At what point do we call it insanity?
Well, Cal made a good point earlier. He's an Xbox guy, and he said, you got to wait till next E3. And I'm like, no. I'm serious. No, I'm not doing that because I waited till this E3, and you got major – I'm talking about fanboys of major podcasts doing damage control.
Go listen to BGST.
Damage control, a brand new console.
Yeah.
Kyle, step in here. Why do you feel there's damage control on a brand new console? It's brand new hardware.
Dude, I think this whole was just overhyped, man. Everybody was putting their faith in Xbox for the C3. They've been quiet for like a while now, and people have been wondering, are they quiet because they have a lot to show and they're confident, or are they quiet because they know that this E3 isn't going to be that good? And I think it's the second reason. I didn't think they thought the C3 was going to be good, man. I don't know what to think anymore, man. I'm starting to lose faith in Microsoft. Like, if I didn't have my friends on Xbox, if I didn't have if I didn't have all these games that I already own on Xbox, I would just think about switching over to PlayStation. I mean, I have been at least like trying to maybe get a PS4 Slim just to try out these exclusives, man. Where is our Xbox RPG at? Where is our Horizon Zero Dawn at? That's the one game I've been looking forward to most when I'm getting my PS4, man. I'm waiting for a good RPG. Like, where is a Fable at? Where's a good Fable at?
Phil Spencer already answered you. He already said that, you know, if that you're not going to get those single player Zelda Horizon type games. He already said that. He said, you know, in kind of paraphrase, I mean, they're just not going to invest in stuff like that because the payoff is too little for that. So he's basically already conceded. But as of a couple of weeks ago, didn't Horizon Zero Dawn, didn't that sell like 3.7 million?
Yeah, and this is a good opportunity for Kyle to kind of go in and do a synopsis of something that you said to me a few months ago about how people bought the Xbox thinking they were going to get games like Horizon and Nier. And could you kind of expand on that a little bit more? Because I thought that was really insightful, because when I started applying that to the Xbox community, a lot of more stuff started making sense. It was like you gave me a Rosetta Stone.
Yeah, man, I thought they would try to take something out of Sony's book and try to get some single-player games. I mean, I know Microsoft's all about multiplayer. They're about connecting people. They're about, like, if we look at Halo 5, that game's like, I forgot when it dropped, they haven't been adding, like, constant DLC, and that game just constantly gets people buying, like, battle packs on there, and they get people coming every time they have, like, the esports community revolving around that. I think that they might be shying away from the single-player games, and they might be trying to build a platform based around multiplayer type stuff with the State of Decays, getting the battlegrounds, getting the MMORPGs. I'm really kind of disappointed in Microsoft, man. I don't know what to say. I was really hoping that we would get State of Decay 2 this year, man. Another like single-player game, but you can play cooperative and all this stuff, man. I don't know what to say.
Well, what if Sony tomorrow walks out? Well, not to interrupt. What if Sony walks out there tomorrow and Cliffy B's on their stage?
Oh, you already know you already know what's going to happen. Seriously, you already know he's going to be. You know, he already announced Lawbreakers, so we're definitely going to see some gameplay of that. Craig, everything that you're thinking about that may happen tomorrow is probably gonna happen. You know, Sony has been giving us what we've been asking for, and so they haven't failed us yet this year. So, you know, I don't know, man. You know, because I think Kojima, I think he's lying, saying that they probably won't have a presence. You know him; he's trivial. He says one thing, he does another. So, I mean, Death Stranding.
Well, but he'll be there. He's going to be on stage. They're going to announce a Metal Gear movie. You know how Sony's always looking for the next big movie because they movie studios. Either look for them to announce a major motion picture of Metal Gear, or maybe something on Netflix or Hulu, maybe something like that. Because they could do a good. I think it could be a decent TV show. You know, kind of like Mass Effect. People are like, well, you know, what about the Mass Effect movie, which is going to never happen now. But, you know, Mass Effect as a TV show would have worked because it's similar to Star Trek. But, yeah, it ain't nothing working now. Like I said, those, you know, I mean, like I said, that Dylan thing, I guess, was that Anthem? Were we looking at the same thing? Was the code name Dylan, or whatever it's called, was it Anthem?
Yeah, I think it was. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, I mean, look, that just pisses me off. Like I said, as a Mass Effect fan, knowing that we got stuck with Mass Effect Andromeda, which I know there are people that like it. I get that. I got to back off of it a little bit. And shout out to Yang Yi. Go check out his channel. He did a good video today on what happened with Mass Effect. It's like a half hour long. If you want to know what happened with the whole Mass Effect thing, go check out that podcast. But yeah, I'm disappointed in this press conference. You know, I'm not mad. I kind of got caught up a little bit in the hype. You know, my brother brought my Xbox One S back over here, and I was excited playing Elite Dangerous and Forza Forza 3, because everybody kept telling me
Forza Horizon 3.
Forza 3. I put my name in there, let you choose the name, And so when the game's playing, it's like, hey, Craig, why don't we go check this track out over here? I'm like, huh? The game's actually, so it's pretty cool. So, but yeah, this press conference was disappointing. It disappointed us.
All right, looking forward though, before we get into like Sony stuff, like, what do you think that Xbox needs to do? Do they just need more games? They got the Xbox One X out there. People know about it now. The price is out there, all that stuff. What can they do to get people back over to Xbox? What do y'all think?
Kratos, you want to take that one?
It's all about the games, man. You don't realize having games and ton of them will make a lot of negative publicity go away. That's what Microsoft needed to do a long time ago. They needed to just give people games and step out the way. But they didn't do that, and there's a lot of dry spells and stuff like that. And the competition just showed up and showed out. That's what had to happen. Right now, they have the most powerful hardware that's going to be on the platform. They need to break that rule. They need to go back on a lot of stuff that they said. They need to limit the games that goes to PC. They need to make some console exclusive, make some, some Xbox One X games that are only available on that game. People are looking for those heavily graphically demanding games, and so it's always going to be handicapped by the OG Xbox, and we know that because the Pro is kind of handicapped from the PlayStation 4, but on a lesser scale.
Yeah, definitely.
But again, when you're the leader, you can do whatever you want, and you can maneuver. Right now, when you're the loser, you have to do things that you probably don't want to do until you get a good footing. So I don't think there's much Microsoft can do besides try to invest in some studios and some games. But people don't realize it takes 2 to 3 years to come out with some games, with some good games at that. And are you willing to give them 2 to 3 years? If you're going to do that, then the competition is not going to stay still.
If we're waiting another 2 to 3 years, we're going to be in the next generation.
Exactly. People don't realize, you think Microsoft's having a bad time now with the PlayStation 4 Slim and the PlayStation 4 Pro. Well, in a couple of years, you're going to be looking at the PlayStation 5. So time just does not stand still, and Nintendo is not standing still. Their consoles, you still can't find one. So this holiday they're going to load the market full of console games, and Friday, Splatoon 2 comes out. That thing is going to be, you're not going to hear about anything but Splatoon. So I don't know. Good luck to them. I don't want to say it's too late for them. I just think we've spent the last 2 years telling them what they needed to do, and the fan base just didn't care. They just wanted them to keep giving them old games. So now they're giving them even older games. And so maybe those guys are satisfied with that. Maybe there's just not a market for new games on the Xbox platform. Maybe it'll just be a niche system for the older games. I don't know.
Well, let me tell you, I don't see it happening. I think that I'm just trying to look at this as a pure gamer. And when you're going to show a bunch of games that are multi-plat, I know people have tweeted me saying, "Well, Craig, Sony's going to show, a bunch of games that are multi-plat too." And I'm like, yeah, but not most of the press conference. I mean, I don't, Metroid. I mean, the first thing Sony did midway through Microsoft's press conference, they said was they started posting the same games over on their side, saying, yeah, they're going to be over here too, so.
Yeah.
So I don't know if that's true or not, because like I said, my bowel was moving because I was laughing so hard, especially at that Foxy Tail, whatever the hell that game was, so I literally was on the floor. But if you're going to say, I guess State of Decay 2, now that is that's exclusive, right?
Mm-hmm. Windows 10 and Xbox.
Well, Windows 10, Xbox, yeah.
Oh, okay, Windows 10, okay.
For now.
So Forza 7, State of Decay,
Crackdown,
Ori and the Blind Forest, and Cuphead. That's it. Well, see if now all these games are also going to be on PC. So that's I mean, that's trash, man. I'm not saying that to be funny. I mean, that's garbage. I mean, there's nothing that moves me off. Let me make this clear. Off my Xbox One S. I mean, I'm looking at this through the eyes of somebody who has an Xbox One S. I'll shout out to Tasso, who's telling me that Elite Dangerous goes on sale tomorrow for PlayStation 4, and it will have the Horizon Surface Recon on there for $50.
And
it's
also in VR, so keep in mind.
Oh, see, even more stuff coming out, so they've already started. So the ambush is already starting, it's over. But Battlegrounds, yeah, that did look interesting, but I don't see them getting me to move. I can only speak for myself as a consumer. I mean, shout out to everybody that's going to go out and buy one. And like I said, somebody wants to buy me one, I'll get rid of my Xbox One S, but y'all going to be paying the difference because I can't do it. I smack myself. I trip myself going into the store, so it's shout out to Andrew Wilkins who just popped in here. But it's I'm disappointed. I'm not mad. But I did kind of get caught up with some Jack Reacher shit, and that's on me. So, because I'm disappointed. You all are both saying C and C plus, and that's why I got it as a C plus. But I'm out of words at this point. I'm disappointed. So
yeah,
it's like dating a girl that has on a water bra, and you don't know it till you get to that point. So.
I hear you, man. I hear you.
Disappointed. Well, Kyle, anything in closing you want to add? I mean, you're an Xbox guy. And you have an Xbox One S, you said? Kyle, you still there? Did he drop off?
Kyle? Maybe he's his mic is not mute. Maybe he's having technical difficulties.
Yeah, could be.
He dropped.
Yeah, he did drop. Okay, maybe it'll come back. I don't know. Well, all right, yeah, Jay, if you want to go ahead and anything in closing here?
Well, Craig, you're the witness, man. I pleaded with Microsoft on what they needed to do to get me and get a bunch of people like me and in the industry, fans and stuff like that, to go ahead and rock back with them. I thought they had a decent E3 showing. I just don't think it was enough. I told you last time they needed to knock the socks off of people to fall back into grace, and I don't think they did that. We need to realize that this is the new Microsoft. This is the new direction. There's no such things as exclusive anymore. And we just have to either take it or leave it. That's just what it is. We just have to realize, well, if you didn't like the games that they showed you, then Sony will always deliver for you. And we'll see that tomorrow. If you come out of Sony's conference with a smile on your face, you know what happened. If you're an Xbox fanboy and you come out of that conference pissed off and mad, you know what happened.
It's bad when Kid Smooth was disappointed.
Exactly. Look, not only Kid Smooth, but Crap Gamer and everybody. The only person that's holding the line is Mooch, and that's he's the only one that's wait till next E3, and they're still going to show up at Gamescom. There's still chances here. It's like, man, those little smaller events only give you more game time to play with the games. They don't show you much of anything new, unless you're Sony and you have a bench that's just that deep where you have to have 4 or 5 conferences to spread out the amount of games. The biggest problem I had with Microsoft, Craig, really is the fact that they did not have any games coming out this year besides, Crackdown and the title that's probably not worth mentioning. But Crackdown 3 was supposed to be their bread and butter, and they treated that game like it was like it was an indie title. They gave Ori and the Blind Forest more stage time and a piano than they did, Crackdown. So that's very telling and that's very puzzling. But me finding out that they're not using the cloud and all that stuff makes me think they wasted a lot of time doing nothing.
Oh, I'm back.
Yeah.
Nice. Dude,
Welcome
my
back,
power
Kyle.
just went out, man.
Oh, that's
Fucking
all right, Kyle.
crazy.
Let's pop back in. We were just about to close it down. And you got anything to say in closing? As far as I mean, are you disappointed with the Xbox conference? I'm not mad. Just kind of all right. I guess the best word is underwhelmed. Do you feel more underwhelmed or disappointed? Or are you just are you really excited about the press conference?
Okay, so
that you just saw?
I didn't come into this with much hype. You know, I've been off YouTube, been off Xbox. I've still been keeping in touch with everything, so I wasn't overly excited about this conference. Came in here with low expectations, and yeah, I would say I was underwhelmed a little bit. Do I think this is the end of Microsoft? Not yet. I definitely think that, you know, they've still got time to fix this. They need to just get more games out there. They need to get more IPs. They need to stop showing indie games. They need to get some more first-party platforms, some new IPs out there, not just our Gears, not just our Halos, not just our Fables. Obviously, we need those, but we also need new IPs to get people coming back to Xbox. I think they need to keep up with the system updates. I think the OG Xbox backward compatibility is a good step. You know, playing old games isn't like the most important thing, but I do think that it is, you know, it helps out. You know, I think they're trying to future-proof for the next generation so that whenever the Xbox 2 comes out, it'll be like, okay, you can just play your Xbox One games. Just like we're playing Xbox 360 games now. So, you know, man, I don't think it's the end of Microsoft. I think that, you know, it's very disappointing, and they might have lost a couple people, and people might be mad at them for a little bit. Do I wish the Scorpio price was a little bit lower? Yes, obviously, but it's not the end of the world yet, hopefully. But yeah, I'm excited to see Sony's press conference tomorrow, and yeah, we'll leave it at that.
Well, all righty. I'll just simply say, yeah, I was a little bit underwhelmed by it. When you're going to show me games that are going to be on your console only. Hopefully, this deads the whole conversation about do exclusive titles sell consoles. Obviously, it does. So, and you're going to be getting a big dose of that tomorrow. It sounds like with Spider-Man and possibly Days Gone and God knows what else they're going to be throwing out up there. Possibly Detroit Become Human and the sequels, maybe a Bloodborne 2. Somebody did say a Devil May Cry 5 may get announced tomorrow. So and not that I'm going to buy it, but it's just another big sub in the boomer there. So but yeah, this has been it, guys, man, gentlemen. I appreciate you all being here. It's E3. It's here. Let's keep the momentum going. You know, at the EA conference, I enjoyed the Star Wars and the Madden thing. Which Microsoft has Madden marketing. Why didn't they show Madden tonight? That's just another general question. So
yeah, that was pretty weird.
Yeah, but so maybe we'll see it on the floor tomorrow with because E3 is still going on, even though the cameras may be off right now, but E3 is still going on. You can see some pressers tomorrow. And I'll definitely be looking into it because I'm off tomorrow. But yeah, but shout out to both you guys. Go ahead and shout yourselves on out before we get on out of here. Go ahead, Kyle. We'll start with you, my brother.
Yeah, man. If y'all want to just subscribe to my channel, I'm going to start posting a little bit on here, talking about some Xbox, some Sony stuff, maybe just jumping on some podcasts, keeping it light. We'll see what happens. If you want to follow me on Twitter, it's at KYYLEBERG at Kyle Berg. Yeah, man, thank you for having me on the podcast, and I really enjoyed it. I haven't done this in such a long time, man. But once I started talking, man, it's just like picking up a bike, man. It just felt like natural. So I'll be down to do this tomorrow if you want to do this tomorrow for the Sony conference as well. But yeah, thanks for having me, man. It was really nice meeting you too, Kratos.
Nice meeting you too, man.
Yeah. Well, great tales go ahead now. Remember, the Sony presser is 9 o'clock Eastern time. So that's after that conference. Unless it ends at 10 o'clock, I'll be going to bed.
Well, I doubt that, Craig. Man, you'll be too busy on Twitter, and I don't know, man. If Sony play their cards right, we'll be having a smile on our face.
Yeah, I got a feeling. I just want to see some gameplay and then some release dates. Well, I will give Microsoft credit is they got something coming out in September, November, so it's October with Forza. So they did do some. They got a game coming out at least in the fall. Excuse me, and then they got their console release. So that's all good. I mean, I give them credit on that. So Sony's going to have to do something tomorrow. We'll have to wait and see. But go ahead and shout yourself out, Kratos, whose big debut could be tomorrow. You know,
definitely. Hey, everybody, it's your boy J-Dub, a.k.a. KRATO'S, the god of PlayStation. You can catch me rocking out with Craig sometime. I'm always on this podcast and stuff like that. I'm on my solo channel as well, KRATO'S Underground Presents. And I'll definitely be doing a show tomorrow. So I'll make sure I post that on Twitter. You guys can follow me at JW16 on Twitter. I'm always keeping it live, keeping it hot, keeping it funky, keeping you guys laughing, keeping the console wars going, but keeping it respectful and funny. You guys make sure you hit the like button and subscribe to my man Craig and Kyle.
All right. Well, this is Craig Harris, the black man in the green chair. I am situated Spoon 26 on the Xbox One. So everybody wants to just hit me up, and I'll be playing probably Forza, and I don't know, I may throw in Elite Dangerous here. Probably not tonight, but yeah, for the next 10 days, I am in the Xbox community, and I'm calling out, like I said to people earlier, they're gonna suffer me. Like that guy said in Lord of the Rings, you know, you will suffer me for the next 10 days, wondering what the hell's going on with this press conference. So, but that's about it, guys. I appreciate everybody being here. Shout out to everybody that joined and commented. Tomorrow, I don't know what I'll be doing. If anybody wants to do anything tomorrow, I will be home because I'll still be recovering from this Microsoft press conference. I'm disappointed. You know, I'm underwhelmed, disappointed. Like I said, it was a water brawl, it was a push-up brawl. It was there, you expect more than you got. So, but that's about it, guys. I do appreciate you all being here, and man, shout out to both of you guys for coming on at short notice because everybody was busy today watching the conference. But this is Craig Harris, Craig's Corner, with my man Kratos, the god of PlayStation, and special guest, Mr. Kyle, Formula Gamers United.
Yes, sir.
Peace out.
Peace.